Welcome to the first broadcast of MTOmaReviews. This week, Monday Night Raw, July 12, 2010. We kicked things off with John Cena cutting a promo. Typical Cena promo. It was obvious that the Nexus would end up interrupting with their new merchandise. This week there was only 6 members, due to Cena taking out one of them last week. Tonight it would be Cena against the remaining 6 members of Nexus. The anonymous general manager would interrupt the promo to make another announcement. Nexus must tag in and out of the match or they would be suspended. And no superstars could interfere to help Cena either or they too would be suspended. Up next we had a Divas matchup. Eve Torres would be on commentary. The match was Alicia Fox vs Gail Kim. As usual with Divas matches, this match didn't last 2 minutes or was all that much to talk about. Alicia obviously pulled the victory and stared down her rival. The anonymous GM would then announce that at Money in the Bank Alicia Fox will take on Eve for the Divas Championship, which surprised no one. Once again a poorly built Divas rivalry gets put on the card of a pay-per-view at the last minute, with hardly any build-up hype for this. Just 6 days before their Money in the Bank Championship match, the Heart Dynasty took on the Usos in a 6-person mixed tag. Guess they couldn't think of any other ways to build this rivalry, so they had their match early. The Divas had some involvement but were never tagged in officially for the match. The Usos would end up picking up the victory. Obviously the pay-per-view match will be much better, because the Usos won this week. I'm guessing that Heart Dynasty will pick up the win at Money in the Bank. Next segment. Nexus is backstage and comes face to face with Yoshitatsu, one of the superstars who helped Cena last week. Nexus would teach these guys a lesson by attacking Yoshi and laying him out. I think this shows that whoever dares to challenge the Nexus would have hell to pay, and it shows how dominant they really are. Next segment. Ted and Maryse came out and gave a promo how Ted will win Money in the Bank. He was interrupted by John Morrison. Morrison insulted Maryse's French and Ted tried to get at him for that. Morrison would turn things around and nearly take out Ted before Maryse can drag him out the ring. Pretty nice build up for a rivalry and for the Money in the Bank match. Up next we had some cheesy segment about the Brady Bunch that I won't bother to waste time talking about. This picture should say it all. Up next we had a match between Randy Orton and Edge. It was a pretty slow match for the most part, being holds and signatures and a little brawl. Nothing came out of this match much. Chris Jericho would end up getting involved and costing Orton the match. A fight would break out and Evan Bourne would come out as well, as Bourne went for a shooting star press on Orton. Orton jumped up and gave him an RKO in midair. That was worth watching 50 times. Great hype for what the Money in the Bank should be this Sunday with all the wrestlers. The next target for Nexus was John Morrison. Morrison would try to fight back though, but the numbers were just too much. Once again Nexus left another one of Cena's heroes laid out. The Miz came out and bragged about what he did to R-Truth last week. The general manager would interrupt to say Miz would face the superstar taking his place. The superstar was Mark Henry, which I really don't agree with, because we all know Henry has no chance whatsoever to win the Money in the Bank. This was really a wasted chance. Sheamus met Evan Bourne backstage and laughed at him. Nexus would show up and Sheamus would feed Bourne to the wolves. Nexus dealt with Evan and left him laid out. Sheamus came back to mock Evan, when Nexus came back and scared Sheamus off. And the final match, Nexus vs John Cena. All, except one of the Nexus, got their chance to get in the match. After slight cheating, the Nexus was able to pick up the victory with their usual signatures. After the match they were going to attack Cena even more. Cena ended up fighting back and Sheamus would come to his aid as well. It will be interesting to see where this goes, but kind of leaves the build up for these two to fight each other a little blank. We'll see what happens.